If you're going to Hawaii and you love snorkeling, this is the guide for you. These are my top 20 best snorkeling spots in Hawaii, on Oahu, the Big Island, Maui, and Kauai. We're going to start out with my top 5 on Oahu, then we'll move to the top 5 on the Big Island, then my top 5 on Maui, and we're going to finish up with my top 5 on Kauai. So let's get started with Oahu, and we're going to start out with number 1, which is Sharks Cove. It consists of this huge tide pool area and then the actual open cove. We saw all sorts of fish, we saw turtles, we saw eels. This was a really fun place to go snorkeling. And as you can see on the map, this is where it's located on the North Shore. So as you arrive, it's a one-way entrance and there's free parking, but you want to get there early because it fills up fast. There's also a large beach area where you can hang out. This large area is the tide pool area for snorkeling. And then when you head over, this is the open cove area for snorkeling. And I would only snorkel here if the water's calm. The day that we went, the waves were way too big to snorkel there. This is what the one-way free parking lot looks like. So they have parking spots. There's a bathroom and shower area. And then we walked down to the beach area and we went over by the rocks. This is where we set down our stuff and we got in to go snorkeling. As you're entering the tide pools, you'll see that there's rocks everywhere, but the bottom is mostly sandy. So I went in barefoot and it was fine, but I did see people wearing water shoes as well. So normally it's pretty safe to go snorkeling in the tide pools, but you do want to watch the waves. During the winter time, the waves can get huge, and if they're coming way over this rock barrier, you don't want to go in. On the day that we went, there were some waves coming over, but nothing crazy, and the water was actually pretty calm in the tide pools. But as I headed over to go into the cove, the currents were really strong and the waves were way too big, so I actually did not snorkel in the cove area on the day that we went. So after we got into the water, we put on our mask, snorkel, fins, and this is what it looked like snorkeling. So from Sharks Cove, we go to number 2, which is Hanauma Bay Nature Preserve. It's only open Wednesdays through Sundays. It's closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. And to get in, you've got to make an online reservation, and that can only be made 2 days in advance, and you've got to do that at 7 a.m. sharp Hawaiian time. The tickets are $25 per person and $3 per vehicle for parking. Hanauma Bay is located on the southeast side of Oahu. And when you turn in off the highway, you're going to follow this road down. It's going to take you to the parking lot, and there's a gated entrance. That's where you're going to pay the $3 parking fee. So our reservation time was for 8 a.m. They said to get there by 7:45, so we got there at 7:30 to have enough time to park, go to a couple of the lookouts, and then go to the front office to get checked in. The parking is $3 cash only. And after we paid for our parking, we decided to go through the first parking lot to the second overflow parking lot because we wanted to walk up to some of the overlooks. So when you get to the end of the first parking lot, you make a right. This takes you to the overflow. We found a parking spot and then we hiked up to the top overlook. And then we walked back down to the main office to get checked in. So after we checked in, they directed us over to the theater where we watched a safety and informational video. So after we finished the movie, we walked out, and then you've got 2 choices. One, you can just walk down to the beach and take in the views. That's what we did. Or they've got a truck that's pulling a trailer and you can hop into the trailer. It's a seated trailer and the truck will take you down to the beach. So as you get to the bottom, there's a roundabout. That's where the truck drops everyone off. There's bathrooms right there. Now, normally we bring our own snorkeling gear, but the day before our Jeep got broken into and my snorkeling gear got stolen. So we headed over to the rental shop to rent some snorkeling gear. So I rented the premium package, which included a mask, snorkel, and fins. And there is a deposit required in order to rent. You can leave your driver's license, ID, passport, car keys. And you'll see there's a number 1 for the snorkeling rental. And then over on the side, you'll see number 2, and that's the pickup. And then once you're done, this is where you're gonna rinse off your stuff and return your gear. So on our way out, they had a guide to the reef life that we would see. And then we headed out to the beach. Along the way, we saw that they've got lifeguard stands all along this beach. They've got a big beach area. There's a grassy area that you could lay out too. And so we found a spot on the beach. We laid out our towels, and then we decided to get in the water to do some snorkeling. So looking out at the water, we went to the far left side, and this is where we got in. We started snorkeling here, and we just worked our way all the way down the reef and then got out at the very end of the beach. So after snorkeling, we got out, we laid out, we enjoyed ourselves, and then we decided to call it a day. So we headed back over to the truck, and the truck took us up this hill. And overall, we had an amazing day snorkeling at the Hanauma Bay Nature Preserve. Then we headed over to our third favorite snorkeling spot on Oahu, which was the Olina Lagoon 4. We went to Lagoon 4 because this one doesn't have a resort or hotel on it, but all 4 of these lagoons are public, and there's a trail system that connects them all. These lagoons are located on the southwest side of Oahu. As you're driving into Olina, you're going to see this guard gate. You don't have to stop here, but you're going to see a sign that shows you the parking lots for each one of the lagoons and how many spaces are available. We were already planning on going to Lagoon 4, and we were happy to see that there were 25 spaces available. So we followed the road down to Lagoon 4. When you get to the end, you're going to go to the free parking lot, which is right here. And as you're coming down, you'll see that if you go to the left, there's a paid parking lot for the marina, but you're going to want to turn right, and that will take you to Lagoon 4's free parking lot. So we found a parking space and we took the trail over to the beach. So even though these are man-made lagoons, they open directly to the ocean, so there's lots of fish swimming in here. So these lagoons are open from sunrise to sunset. They also have free public bathrooms here. So after exploring a little bit, we laid out our towels and we decided to get in the water and do some snorkeling. We had a great time snorkeling at the Olina Lagoon 4, and then after that we headed to spot number 4, which is the Kahe Point Beach Park. This small beach has a vibrant coral reef. There's an electric power plant in the background. There's 2 large venting pipes that go way out in the ocean. You can snorkel all the way out there, and fish like to go there because the water's really warm. This is located on the southwest side of Oahu. When you get there, you'll find that there's a free public parking lot, but don't leave anything in your car. While we were there, we got out just to explore a little bit, and I left my snorkeling gear in the Jeep. Someone broke in, stole my snorkeling gear, so my wife was kind enough to let me use her gear to snorkel out. After parking, you're going to walk over to this small little beach. This is where you're going to get into the water. You'll see the public bathrooms. On the left, you'll see they've got lifeguards now, and then you just take the trail down to the beach. So if you're going to swim all the way out to where the pipes let out, you definitely want to be an advanced snorkeler. But if you don't want to go all the way out, there's a vibrant reef that you can snorkel right off the beach. So I got in the water with my wife's snorkeling gear on and headed out to the pipes. You can see that you don't have to go far, and you're going to see lots of different fish. And snorkeling out with fins has probably took me about 20-25 minutes to get out there. So you can see this is where the pipes are letting out the warm water, and the fish and turtles love this. It's about 20 feet deep here, and if you swim right in front of those vents, that water is going to push you pretty far. After snorkeling, we got out and we headed over to number 5, which is Queens Beach. It's located on the southern end of Oahu, right next to Honolulu. When we got there, we found that the parking was paid. It's metered parking, and it's 50 cents per hour up to 4 hours, and we used a credit card for this. So we parked towards the southern end of the beach. We crossed the street, and as we're crossing through the green space, you'll see a lifeguard stand to F. And on the south side, you'll also see that they've got public bathrooms, and there's a restaurant called Barefoot Beach Cafe. On the southern end, you'll see that there's this rock jetty or pier that goes out, and this is where there's some great snorkeling. So we decided to explore the beach first and then get in the water and do some snorkeling. So snorkeling at Queens Beach wraps up our top 5 snorkeling spots on the island of Oahu. And next we're heading down to the big island of Hawaii, and we're going to show you our top 5 there. And we're going to start with number 1, which is Two-Step Beach. So this beach is located over on the west side of the big island. There's 3 different options for parking. 1 is free and 2 are paid. There's free parking on the shoulder of the road, but that fills up pretty fast. If you have a National Parks Pass, you can go to the Visitor Center, use that, or pay $20 for a 7-day pass. After parking, you'll walk down the street to Two-Step Beach. And lastly, there's a paid parking lot right across the street. So you can see that Two-Step Beach really isn't a sandy beach, it's mostly lava rock, but because of the lava rock, that's why this water is crystal clear. So as you can see here, they call it two-step because there's actually 2 steps to get into the water. So we put on our snorkel gear and hopped in. As we were snorkeling, the reef dropped off and we were heading through some deeper water to another part of the reef, and that's when this pod of dolphins came up to us. In Hawaii, there's a rule that you can't swim with, approach, or remain within 50 yards of a spinner dolphin, but the exception is an inadvertent approach. So if a dolphin swims up to you, you're not in violation as long as you don't follow it or try to interact with it. So we let this pod swim past us and then we kept snorkeling, but what an amazing experience to see these dolphins in the wild. After snorkeling at Two-Step Beach, we headed over to our number 2 spot on the Big Island, which is the Captain Cook Monument. So you can get there for free by doing the hike, but if you don't want to hike, you can also rent a kayak or you can take an excursion on a boat. This remote snorkeling spot is located on the west side of the Big Island of Hawaii. When you get there, there's free parking on the shoulder of the road. You can see that this is a really popular hike, and then you go across the street and this is where the trailhead begins. So the hike is 3.7 miles out and back. It's pretty easy going down, but it was definitely difficult going up. I'd highly recommend wearing hiking shoes or running shoes and bring lots of water and food. You've got a 1,272 foot elevation gain going back up. With 8 markers along the way, you'll know how close you're getting. They're spaced out about 1/4 mile each. So at first it's pretty green, and then you're going to come out into the open lava fields where it gets pretty hot, so make sure you bring lots of water on this hike. When you come down to marker 8, you're going to go to the left on the trail and you'll follow that to the Captain Cook Monument. So from the Captain Cook Monument, there's a beautiful coral reef to go snorkeling. So from the monument, you walk this short sidewalk, and this is where you get in and out of the water. What an amazing experience snorkeling at the Captain Cook Monument. We absolutely love doing the hike, but if you're not into hiking, you could definitely book an excursion and go snorkeling here. After the Captain Cook Monument, we hiked back and we headed to our third spot on the Big Island of Hawaii, which is 49 Black Sand Beach. It's located on the northwest side of the Big Island of Hawaii, and to get there, you're going to turn into the Mauna Lani subdivision. You're going to follow this around, and it's going to take you to a gated subdivision. So this gated subdivision has limited parking. I think it's about 20 spaces. We went in the morning and they said it was full, and then we came back at lunchtime and a lot of people had left, so we were able to get in. So you're going to follow this road down to the end of the road to this public parking area. So once you park, you can follow the trail out to the Black Sand Beach. So 49 Black Sand Beach is what it's labeled on Google Maps, but you can see here the real name is Honolua Bay Beach. So they've got public bathrooms, and we follow the trail to the Black Sand Beach. So this black sand was really fine, and you can see here, and it actually was really comfortable to walk on. We've been to other black sand beaches where they're more like rocks or pebbles, but this one was awesome. So this is where we went snorkeling, and this really was the highlight of visiting this beach. This snorkeling was absolutely amazing. After snorkeling at 49 Black Sand Beach, we headed to our fourth snorkeling spot on the Big Island of Hawaii, which is Kahalu'u Beach Park. So this is located on the west side of the Big Island of Hawaii. When you get there, you'll turn in. There's a big parking lot. It's $12 for 4 hours to park here, and you'll pay for it through an app. As we walked up, we saw that they have public bathrooms. There's a beach area, and then over by the lifeguard stand is where we got in to go snorkeling. We had an amazing time snorkeling here, and then we headed to number 5. This is the last one for the Big Island of Hawaii, which is Magic Sands Beach Park. This is located over on the west side of the Big Island. So when you get there, you'll see the beach here, but the parking lot is actually on the other side of the street. It's free parking from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So on the far end of the beach, they've got public bathrooms. And then over on the right-hand side or the south side of the beach is where we went snorkeling. So from the Big Island of Hawaii, we headed to Maui next, and our first snorkeling spot is the Ahihi-kina'u Natural Area Reserve. This is located on the southwest side of Maui. So when you get there, you're gonna see this parking lot to the right, and this parking lot is now a paid parking lot. So it shows the times that it's open, and it just lets you know that you need to pay for a parking pass. So then we headed down. You'll see the entrance to the trail, and they remind you about the parking pass multiple times, and then you head down this lava rock. You're gonna see this sign is gonna show you where you can enter for snorkeling. So we just set down our stuff by some of this lava rock, and we headed into the water. We had an amazing time snorkeling here, and then we headed to our second snorkeling spot on Maui, which is the Mala Historic Wharf. This is located up on the northwest side of Maui, right next to Baby Beach. So when you arrive, there's free parking on the street, and you just walk up, and on the right-hand side is where you go snorkeling at the wharf. What an amazing experience swimming with these huge sea turtles and white-tip reef sharks. And after we were done snorkeling there, we got out and we headed to our snorkeling spot number 3, which is Kapalua Bay Beach. And this is located up on the northwest side of Maui as well. They have very limited parking, so we went across the street to the Kapalua Tennis Garden parking lot. We paid at the Snack Shack. It was $10 for 3 hours. You could pay $15 for the whole day. You're gonna go across the street. You'll see this sign that points in the direction of the Kapalua Bay Beach parking. This is a small parking lot. Check here first. If it's full, you can park across the street. And we set up down on the south end. We'd heard that's where the best snorkeling was, and this snorkeling was amazing. We had such a fun time snorkeling here, and then we got out and we headed to our 4th snorkeling spot, which is Honolua Bay. This is located up on the northwest side of Maui, and when you get there, you're gonna park on the street, and then you'll take a trail that takes you to the bay. As you can see from this overlook, the water's crystal clear and just a beautiful place to go snorkeling. When you arrive, you're gonna park on the street. There's 2 entrances. We went in through the south entrance, and you'll go through this gate and follow this trail all the way down to Honolua Bay. As you get to this big tree, when you look to the right, you'll see that's the north entrance trail, and to the left takes you to Honolua Bay. We had an amazing time snorkeling at Honolua Bay, and then we headed to destination number 5, which is Slaughterhouse Beach. This is right next to Honolua Bay. This is the view from the parking lot. We found a parking space, and then you walk down to the staircase. So there's quite a few stairs to get down to the beach, but once you get out, the views are amazing, and this beach is great for snorkeling too. Slaughterhouse Beach wraps up our top 5 on Maui, and now we're going to go up to Kauai. Our first snorkeling spot on Kauai is Poipu Beach, which is located on the southern end of Kauai. When you get there, you'll find that there's 2 different parking lots. After you park, you'll walk up to the beach. As you walk out onto the beach, we went over to the east side, or the right side looking at the map, and then we snorkeled over to this little island, and this is where we saw lots of turtles and fish, and so this is the area that we would go to for snorkeling. We had an amazing time snorkeling at Poipu Beach. After snorkeling there, we headed to our second snorkeling spot, which is on the north side of Kauai. And this is Kahe Beach, which is at Hanauma State Park. In order to go to Kahe Beach, a reservation is required. You can book that at gohanauma.com. And for our reservation, we opted for the shuttle, which gives you all-day access to Kahe Beach. So the shuttle takes you into Hanauma State Park, drops you off at this parking lot, and then you take the trail over to Kahe Beach. As you're walking the trail, you'll pass the public bathrooms, and then you'll come out to the beach. We had a great time snorkeling here, and next we headed to our snorkeling spot number 3 on Kauai, which is down on the south side at Baby Beach. This beach is in a residential neighborhood. There's very limited parking, and the water's really shallow and great for snorkeling. You'll find this entrance that you walk through the houses to get out to the beach, and we went over to the east side, and that's where we found the best snorkeling. Baby Beach was small, but we had a great time snorkeling here. And then we headed to snorkeling spot number 4, which is Kiahuna Beach. This beach is located on the south side of Kauai. When you arrive, there's a small parking lot, there's some public bathrooms. And then when you walk out onto the beach, we went over to the east side where there's a large reef that you can snorkel. We had a great time snorkeling at Kiahuna Beach, and then we headed to our 5th spot, which is Lawa'i Beach. This is also located on the south side of Kauai. And when you get there, you'll see that there's street side parking. This is a small beach, but has excellent snorkeling. So we parked. As we walked over to the beach, we saw some public bathrooms on the other side of the road. And then you walk into the beach, turn to your right, and there's some areas that you can get into the water. So that wraps up my top 20 best snorkeling spots in the Hawaiian Islands on Oahu, the Big Island, Maui, and Kauai. I know there's a lot more places to go snorkeling in the Hawaiian Islands, but in the month of November when I filmed all of this, these were my top 20. If you love snorkeling as much as I do, I hope this helps you prepare for your next trip out to the Hawaiian Islands.